Hi, good morning to everyone. Thank you for attending to today's webinar. My name is Alvaro Mocholi. I'm responsible for international sales and also the general manager of the company Grecom Technologies. And I'm going to be the person that is going to be presenting to you all the different solutions that we have for the airport industry. Just to let you know that the webinar is going to be recorded. So later on, we can share with you and then with all the people that was not able to attend to today's webinar, we will be able to share the link so they can watch a video. Okay. The first thing that I would like to do is to just do a very brief introduction of our company. Grecom Technologies is a company that was founded in 2005 and is a company that is specialized in developing real-time analytics, and we are very specialized on thermal imaging cameras. That is our biggest area of expertise. Currently, we have over 30 different analytics developed up to date, which can cover a wide range of solutions, which I will explain you in the next slide. We export to 64 countries. Our biggest areas of interest is Middle East, North America, and then also South America. And then one of the good things about our company is that we can offer the full chain of value. Okay, that means that we have our own R&D department, which is responsible not only of developing our solutions, but also customizing the solutions according to our clients' needs. Okay, so that is one of the biggest advantages that makes a difference between us and bigger companies. Okay. Also, we have an integration department which is responsible for integrating all our solutions with existing VMSs or security platforms, access control devices, and so on. The price of the license includes the setup and the configuration. So this is kind of like a turnkey solution. We are not just selling the solution. We also, the price includes the setup, configuration, fine tuning, and until the solution is not working as the end user is expecting, we will not stop working on it. And then also we have the after sales department and the project maintenance for critical infrastructures that constantly we are supervising all the different projects that we are involved in. And of course, they authorize us to supervise it just to make sure that everything is working as expected. We have a wide range of solutions. We have solutions for perimeter surveillance. We have solutions for thermal imaging, for PTC cameras, for day and night cameras. Also, we have a marine surveillance. So we have also the Coast Guard, which is one of the solutions for the marine surveillance. We have VMS. We have two types of VMS. We have the one with artificial intelligence, which is called Aware, and then another one without artificial intelligence, which is the Engaro. Okay. We also have solutions for cybersecurity. Here, what we do is monitoring all the workstations that are in the company and just make sure that everyone follows the IT policy of the company. Then we have facial recognition. So we have multiple solutions, access control, face mask detection, capacity control, VIP identification, criminal, I don't know, like anti-spoofing, then ticket validation, demographic analysis. Automation and safety, we have plenty of solutions, like, for example, that can apply to the airports. We have the transformer monitor or the leak detector. And then we have also solutions for fire prevention. We have one for industrial scenarios and another one for forest. Okay, in this case, we'll apply the Temp Threshold, which is the solution that we're using for industrial scenarios. And then also we have healthcare solutions, which is the HTC, which is the human temperature control solution. Okay, so what we're gonna do is today we're gonna divide the webinar or the presentation in two areas. One of it is gonna be the security area, and then later on we will be talking about the safety solutions. Okay. The first solution that we would like to introduce you is the face recognition. Okay, we can offer a solution that can guarantee 99.87% of accuracy on wild faces. and then 98.6% on faces with a mask. Okay, so this has been certified by the NIST, which is the National Institute of Standards and Technology in the US. And then also follows with all the privacy requirements like AES 256 and also the HTTPS in transit. And then here I'm going to show you a graphic to show you the results of the testing that the NIST did. As you can see, well, here are some of the different algorithms that were tested. In total, there were 340 algorithms tested. And here on the upper right corner, you can see that is Grecom. So we are considered as one of the lower processing requirement solutions in the market, and also the fastest one in the market, okay? And as you can see here, the minimum requirement to pass the NIST certification was an accuracy or false alarm or the not recognizing or error of 0.0285, and we achieved 0.0027. So that is also one of the most accurate solutions in the market. And then also is one of the fastest, if not the fastest solution in the market. So here, one of the solutions that we want to introduce is the scan. This is a device that that is a plug-and-play solution. It just goes with a POE, and then automatically it will work. It has a 3D camera, also has an infrared lighting, and then also has a microphone and a speaker. Okay, so in this small device, which is about, it's like very small, it's like just something like this, you can download a database of 20,000 people. It's very fast operating, so you can pretty much grant access to around 45 people per minute. Okay, and then the enrollment on the database, you can do it through any mobile device or tablet. Also, it's compatible with the OSDP and WebAN, so it's compatible with all the access control platforms. Also can detect tailgating, so in case that someone is right behind the person that you grant access, so you can identify that person and automatically trigger an alarm. And then also has the anti-spoofing. I mean, the 3D camera will be able to distinguish between a real face and a non-real face. So in case that someone is trying to supplant the identity of that person with a picture or with an image on a smartphone or a tablet, the system will be able to identify between a real and a non-real face. Okay. So what can we do in going into the airport? I mean, from the monitoring point of view, we can do mass detection, we can do social distancing, audience management, so we can control, I mean, the occupancy levels of specific areas, like such as VIP rooms or gates and so on. So we can do counting people, suspect detection. So in case that anyone that has created problems or trouble in the past, always as long as it's on the database and you have been registered as a non-welcome person, I mean, automatically will be identified. And then also has the multi-factor authentication. So for those employees that sometimes are wearing like helmets, glasses, and so on, you can also have the double authentication with a QR code. So it will identify the QR code and the face recognition, and if the identity doesn't match, it will not grant the access. Okay, from the facial recognition, we can have solutions for passport control, access control, VIP recognition for the VIP lounges, or even for the shopping area. And then we can also do recognition of suspects. And then, as I said before, we have the liveness and anti-spoofing notifications. So we can identify people or try to identify people that is trying to supplant the identity of other. And in case you want to do some demographic analysis, we can also classify the people by gender, by age. And then also for all the advertisement on the airport, we can have the facial expression or the analysis of the sentiment of that person when it passes through the advert. So if they stay there, smile, or is sad, so you can see what is the sentiment of that person. You can also have heat maps. You can also do queuing management, dwell time, so you can, for example, on VIP rooms, so you can pretty much figure out how much time each one of the people, the persons that are coming into the VIP launches, how much time they spend inside, and then you can also do occupancy level. Okay. Then another solution that we're going to be talking about is the VMS. Okay, this VMS, as we said before, has artificial intelligence. Okay, this VMS has been certified by the ISO 27001, and then also was the Red Dot winner on 2021 as the smart product, the smartest products on the contest. Okay, so what is the difference between a VMS with artificial intelligence and a VMS without artificial intelligence? Okay, most of the VMSs that you find on the market, basically what they do is they record 24 hours, 7 days a week. Okay, and then also what they do is they record all the events of all the analytics that are connected to such a VMS. So they generate kind of like a database of all the different alarms or events that the analytics are generating. Here we go one step beyond. Okay, besides the VMS also includes 4 different analytics. You have perimeter surveillance, you have license plate recognition, you have face recognition, and then also sound analytics. Okay, so here what we do is, as you are recording, we are classifying the objects that we are recording. For instance, imagine that there is a car. So the VMS will record, okay, this is a vehicle. It will record the type of vehicle. That means if it's a car, if it's a motorcycle, if it's a van, a bus, a truck, like articulate truck or whatever. And then also will classify the license, will record the license plate number and also the color of the vehicle. So whenever you want to do some forensic search, you don't need to go through hundreds of hours of recording. So basically you just go through a search tool, you just enter whatever you're looking for. Okay, I'm looking for a vehicle, which is gonna be a car. It's gonna be a color of white, let's call it. And then with this license plate number. And then automatically the VMS is gonna search through all the cameras that are connected into that VMS, and automatically it's gonna bring out everything that matches with your search criteria. That same search that we did for the vehicle also can be done with humans or with persons. So you can search for a person and say, okay, I want to imagine that, for example, one kid got lost on the terminal. So you can upload the image or the face or a picture of that kid, and automatically the VMS is going to bring out all the images that have some similarity with that person. And I say similarity because the cameras are not always deployed on the right place to do some face recognition. So the system, the VMS, what is gonna do is all those faces that match on 80% or over compared to that image that you uploaded into the search criteria is gonna bring it to you. So you will be able to select and choose which faces matches the one that you're looking for. You can also search by the type of clothing, the color of clothing, and by gender. Okay, so this is a very let's call it effective way to do some forensic search. How is the architecture? Okay, we have 2 ways. You can use our own cameras or you can use third-party cameras. The benefit of using our own cameras is that the analytics are embedded into the camera, and also the recording is embedded into the camera. So the camera, you can have 30, 60, 90, or 120 days recording. And then you will not need any server. So you can connect directly the cameras to the cloud, and you will be able to access to the recording or to the real time you will be able to access on real time to the images, to the cameras, always as long as you have a device that is connected to the internet. Also, the cloud, what it's gonna do is gonna do a backup of all the recordings of the camera. In the price, you have 30 days free of charge recording on the cloud. So you always have a backup. So in case that someone vandalize the camera or steals the camera or breaks the camera, you're always going to have a 30-day backup recording on the cloud. Now, in case that you want to deploy this system on a project that already has cameras deployed, you can also use it. The only difference is you're gonna need a server where the analytics and also the recording is gonna be hosted. Okay, so you can also access through real time you can access to the cameras from real time, so you can view in real time, or you can access to the recording to either through the cloud or to any laptop or to any workstation that is connected to the same network as the server. Also, we have our own API, and then also we have the SDK. So in case that we want to integrate it with access control devices or other VMS or other security platforms that are already deployed. Here, I'm going to show you a video on how the Smart Search tool solution works.
Welcome to AvaWare. Today we're going to cover search. Search is a tool that allows us to search for specific events that may have occurred across one or multiple cameras. This allows us to search for things like the appearance of a person or a vehicle, a line cross event where a vehicle or person has crossed a specific virtual line that we've drawn, loitering events where a person or a vehicle may have been stationary for too long in one place, indicating something like an idling vehicle that may be outside of a loading dock or outside of an airport, or a person that may just be acting suspiciously in an area that they should not be. We can also alert on sound detection, and this leverages the onboard sound detection in our AvaWare cameras that can detect things like glass breaks, loud noises, smoke alarms, and many more audio models that are being added with each release. So, for example, if we were to create a line cross search, what we can do is we can choose what kind of objects we want to search for. We can stick with any or go down to a specific person. This person can be specified based on gender or based on the attire that they're wearing in the top or the lower quadrant of their body, and you can combine both colors as well, looking for people in uniforms or based on a description that was given by a third party. We can also leverage an image. If someone has captured a cell phone image of this person or vehicle, we can upload that in order to do a search based on these detections. Then we can choose where we want to do this detection. So this detection can take place, for example, on a camera in a parking lot. It could also happen inside of a building. So if we were looking for people that may have been in front of a register, we can choose one or multiple cameras and then choose the line that we want these objects to be crossing in order to qualify for the detection. We can choose the direction of travel of this object. And in the case of something like a convenience store, if we're just looking for anyone that is walking out, as this person just did in this example, we can unclick the entering direction so that we're only looking for the direction of travel out the door. And then we can choose the time period that we're searching for. This can be anywhere from specific minutes down to a block of time that may be days or hours. And in our case, when we're just looking for the last 30 minutes worth of search, we're presented with all of the events that correspond to our search criteria. So in our case, we're looking for people that are exiting. And if I highlight over that video, we're going to see the people that are exiting. I can click into this video to see it in greater detail. This will allow me to see not only the event that occurred, but the object within our floor plan as that user exits this building. I can then click to act on that activity. But we can also see in our parking lot as a person was crossing that virtual line that we created. So this allows us to very quickly get to the events that matter to us and then act on them. These different video clips that we have captured here can then be exported. So we can take the relevant information by clicking the plus, and we can choose to share or save. So we can export this as an MP4. We can share this as a publicly accessible link. We can bookmark it so that these video clips do not get deleted by typical retention. And of course, we can also do similarity searches if we want to look for people that are similar to the objects that have been detected in these environments. Now, you're also presented with the ability to create a rule. We have a whole nother section dedicated to creating rules based off of searches as well as other parameters. I implore you to check that out.
Okay, we're gonna move on now to the different perimeter solutions that we have available. Okay, we have here two different solutions. For one, the first one is what we call a Sentinel, and this is a solution that works exclusively for thermal imaging cameras. And the key benefit is the long range detection. Okay, or what we can do is, I mean, for example, with one camera, we can detect between 450 to 500 meters. Okay. The key advantage of this solution is that given that such a long detection range, we can reduce considerably the number of cameras, the civil works, and also the computer infrastructure. Okay, so that it makes this solution very cost effective. Now, if you're looking for a solution with more intelligence and more accuracy, then we have the perimeter lookout with artificial intelligence. Okay, with the Sentinel, the long range detection, I mean, to detect an object which is 400 or 450 meters away from the camera, there is not enough pixels, so the size of the object that detected, for example, a human, is not big enough for us to be able to classify or identify the object. So in case that you want to auto-classify and be able to discriminate between an animal and a human and vehicles and so on, then we need to bring artificial intelligence into it. So the key benefit of the perimeter lookout is that it's very accurate solution. And the disadvantage that I have is that the detection range is not as long as, for example, as with the Sentinel. Okay. Meanwhile, for example, with a thermal imaging with Sentinel, we say before we can reach 450 meters. With the same thermal camera and with the perimeter lookout, the maximum distance should be something like around 180, 200 meters away. Okay, if we're using day and night cameras, the detection range should be something like around between 80 to 100 meters, depending on the lens and also depends on the resolution of the camera. The good thing about this solution is that you have multiple detection rules like intrusion, like line crossing, prowling, and abandoned object, and then auto-classifies persons and vehicles and discriminates animals, vegetation movement, light changes, shadows, raindrops on the lens, and so on. Okay, it's compatible with all the IP cameras, and then also is integrated with perimeter lookout. Right now is integrated with Milestone, but Sentinel is integrated with Milestone, Genetec, Pelco, Avigilon, Chameleon, Cathesics, EDIS, Axis Camera Station, Digifort, and Goiterbrook. Okay, and here I'm going to show you a video on how this solution works. This is so as you can see on the overlay, I mean, there is a number. So when it says 0.9 is the percentage of accuracy that we can guarantee if this is a human or it's an animal, it is a vehicle or whatever. Okay. Also on the center image, you can see there is a lot of camera movement. It doesn't trigger any alarms on the areas, on the rest of the areas. Okay. And then on the rest of the image is barely no contrast and still we can detect it. Okay, another one of the solutions is the Coast Guard. This is for marine surveillance. Okay, we use it for those airports that are close to the sea line, so we can identify people that approach the border with swimming, with a small boat, and so on. So we can predict from any intrusion. Okay, so this system, what it does, it detects large and small vessels, and then also floating objects. Floating objects, depending on the size, we can detect it far away or not so far away. For example, if it's a person that is swimming, the only area that we're gonna be seeing of a person swimming is gonna be just the head and the arms whenever they come out of the water. So maybe at that distance, with that such a small object, I mean, the maximum detection distance should be something between 80 meters or 70 meters. Okay. Okay. The minimum target size is 2 pixels. Does not generate false alarms, by the way, because we use some thermal imaging cameras. The rate of false alarms is between 2 to 5%. Has multiple detection rules like a line crossing, a floating object, and then also like intrusion. We can position all the objects that we detected with GPS coordinates, so we can know exactly where the alarm was triggered. And then also what we can do is we can track that object as it's approaching to the facility. And then also what we can do is we can position those alarms on the same map as the radar. Okay, so sometimes we do integrations with the radar. So all those objects that the radar is not capable of detecting because of the size or because of the material, and we are able to detect it. So what we do is we position those alarms on the same map, so the operator on one map can control the radar and the thermal imaging cameras. Also, this solution can work with fixed or PTC cameras, okay, and then it's integrated with all the main VMSs, as we said before, like Milestone Genetec, Goitebrook, Pelco, Avigilon, and Axis Camera Station, and so on. Okay, another solution that we're going to be using is the data loss prevention. Okay, this is a kind of like a cybersecurity solution, which was the US Cyber Command winner. Out of all the 10 categories that were on the contest, we were winners of 7 of them. And then also we were considered as the best overall solution. Also is the certified by the JITC by the JITC, and then also has been compliant with the NITTF, okay, and then also was the winner of the Cybersecurity Awards winner. Okay, this solution basically what it does is what we do is we monitoring all the workstations that are connected to the network. We are monitoring all the activity. So what we do is we create an IT policy together with the company, and then all those workstations or employees that are not following the IT, we automatically detect it, and then we interact. Okay, so for example, if someone does a screenshot or someone is printing material that's supposed not to with confidential information, in case that someone has, I don't know, is recording personal details of passengers or people and so on. So automatically we can detect it, and then we can interact. So that means we can block, for example, the activity, we can send an alarm, we can isolate the computer so the virus doesn't come in and get it throughout the network and so on. So also the good thing about this solution that every single workstation is monitoring on real time to a central workstation where you can monitor all the different workstations that are connected on real time. So it's kind of like a dashboard where you can monitor all the equipment that is connected and see what is the activity. Okay. Now we're gonna move to the safety area. Okay. Here, the first solution that we would like to introduce you is the Temp Threshold. This is a solution to detect fire. It's a fire prevention solution. So this is a proactive solution. I mean, most of the buildings or warehouses, what they do is they have like a smoke detection solutions. So here what we do is we analyze the temperature of all the objects that are on the field of view of the camera. Whenever we see that there is an object that reaches the temperature threshold that we have set up the system for, and then also that follows the behavior that we have set up the analytics for, that is when we trigger the alarm. So for instance, imagine that you have like a forklift machinery working on the field of view of the camera. The engine might be at the same temp threshold as we have set up the analytics for, but the behavior is different. Okay, for example, whenever we detect a fire, the behavior is that the temperature increases very fast, the size of the fire increases very fast, and then also stays steady on one point. It doesn't move around fast. Okay. Meanwhile, for example, machinery, I mean, the temperature is steady, and then it doesn't increase very rapidly, and then it moves around the field of view of the camera. So that is a different behavior. So it's kind of like a doubled analysis. So from one side, we have the temperature analysis, and on the other side, we have the behavior analysis. So that helps us to have a very accurate solution, almost 100% accuracy. And then it is very proactive, so we can anticipate for fire prevention. Smoke detection, I always say the same. Whenever there is a smoke, that means there is combustion. If there is combustion, you're already too late. Okay, you can activate the sprinklers and so on, but I mean there is already fire. Meanwhile, with this solution, you can anticipate to the combustion and then you can react immediately. Another solutions that we have is the transformer monitor. Okay, here what we do is we monitoring all the components on substations or electrical components. So what we can do is we can predict when any of these components is overheating, we can predict of a major failure. Okay, so what we do, for example, in a substation, we can monitor multiple switches simultaneously, and then we compare all of them. So whenever we see that any of these switches overheat versus the other ones, we can spot it and then we can react or we can anticipate to a major problem. Okay, so this is how we work. So this solution applies to substations, applies to transformers, to electrical boxes, batteries, switches, and so on. Another one of the solutions is the protective equipment monitoring. So this solution, what it does, it has artificial intelligence on it, and then basically what it does is guarantees that all the people that are entering into the premises are wearing the right equipment, such as helmets, reflection vest, glasses, protective boots, gloves, and so on. Okay, so we have different devices. So we have an access control device, so that can do dual, we can grant access and also monitor that all the employees and all the staff are wearing the right equipment before they enter into the facility. And then in case that you want to monitor people while they are working, monitor that all of them are wearing the right equipment, we have these three devices. This is just for one camera, this is for 3 cameras, and this is up to 30 different cameras. So here what we can do is we monitoring that all the people are wearing the right equipment. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share some different success cases from defense and law enforcement. We have deployed our solutions with the FBI in the US. We have the VMS with artificial intelligence and also the cybersecurity. On the NATO headquarters, we have the access controlled solution. With Rota, which is a US and Spanish military base in south of Spain, we do all the perimeter surveillance of the base, and also we are responsible for all the perimeter surveillance of the Spanish Air Force, the Saudi Arabia Air Force, and also of the Navy. For the oil and gas, we work with companies such as Saudi Aramco. We are the standardized solution for embedded into access cameras, so we can do the perimeter surveillance. Also, we have the Cepsa and Repsol, which are the 2 largest Spanish oil companies. We do all the perimeter surveillance for all their facilities. And then if we go to critical infrastructures, we do Madrid International Airport, which is one of the largest airports here in Europe. Then we do all the perimeter surveillance. Valencia Port, we also do the marine surveillance on the Encore area. Trillo nuclear plant, we do also the perimeter surveillance. And then we work with several telecommunications companies such as AT&T, Facebook, or Hitachi, or Etisalat on the Emirates, Telefonica in Spain and South America. Okay. And then as for distribution, we have global agreements with Anixter and ADI. And then also we work with companies such as Ingram Micro or Incomex. This is some of the major distributors that we have. As for installers, we work with all the main installers as Prosegur, Securitas, G4S, AT&T, Hitachi, I don't know, Indra, which is a Spanish company, Thales, which is a French multinational, and so on. So this will be all the different solutions that we can offer for the airport industry, airports. Here, in case that you need to get in touch with us, here you have my contact details and also my email address. In case that you want to test any of the solutions that we introduced to you today, you can do it through the website. You can access through the website, or you can contact me directly. And right now is the time for questions. So in case that you have any questions, you can either do it, you can activate your microphone, or you can use the chat. So you're more than welcome to use it, and then I will be delighted to answer all your questions. So in case that you have any questions, please go ahead. Also, it's very important for you to know that the price of the license includes setup and fine tuning is included on the price. So as for in case that someone decides to go with our solution, that will be included on the price. It's a turnkey solution. Also, as for the licenses, you can go from the subscription model, or you can go from perpetual license. So depending on what type of projects you want to get involved in, you can either go with either package. I see there is no questions here. No one has a doubt or any questions regarding all the different solutions. Okay, in this case, once again, thank you very much for attending to today's webinar. Within the next coming days, we will be sending you a copy of the presentation, and also a link to the video in case you want to go over the video. And then here you have my contact details again. So in case that you need to get in touch with me, more than welcome to help you. Thank you very much. Okay, and let's keep in touch. Bye-bye.